What's up, guys? It's Zoom Rakes here, bringing you today's Wager Rakes episode with Birdsy Bets and Source podcast. Um, Yesterday we went 3-3. Couple of brutal beats, but also a couple of lucky wins with the Angels and the Yankees. Yesterday was just an interesting day altogether. Should have played the Brewers -1.5. Should have had that feeling. I backed out of it last minute.
That's
uh,
my fault.
Actually, I don't even think I said Brewers -1.5 on the show. I think it was the over that I said.
You did say the over.
Yeah, it was the over. It happens. Honestly, you saved me way more than I can count. So that I'm not even upset about it.
Well,
Um,
you could have taken the Angels. You'd be back in play.
exactly. I should have listened. Um, Today we got a loaded card. At least I do, and we're happy to be giving out these free plays, and hopefully we can help you all profit with them. Source does not have any official free plays. He'll talk about leans and chime into mine and Burnsy's plays. So there should be a lot of insight going on, around about these plays. So I'll go ahead and start. So my first play is going to be the Brewers -1.5. They're a huge favorite to the Pirates. They're expected to win, obviously, given the numbers and everything. But also the Brewers showed up a little bit yesterday, and they showed up a little bit the game before. I like situations where teams are running semi-hot. I hope that they can just carry on or hold on to that momentum, carry it forward. And I think against this Pirates team, they'll be more than able to do that. The Brewers -1.5 right now is a -140. I like the juice on it too. It's not that far off of the money line. It depends on where you find it. The money line at some places is actually still sitting at 225, 230, according to Action Network. So I don't mind it that much. It's not one of those situations where the money line's like -280 and then the run line's like -125. So that being said, this is a little bit closer. Um, and for this purpose, I like the Brewers -1.5. Bernsey, do you have anything on that game, or do you have any plays?
Yeah, nothing on that game. I just don't really like looking at when you have someone as good as Burns and that it just kind of disinterests me. But I love your play. Love the Brewers there.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I actually like the Brewers as well. They fell just short for me. The money line that I have available in front of me is 240 in some places and 230 in others. I like them at 200 or less. Otherwise, I think it's just a little steep. But that -1.5, I think if they win, they're going to win by 1.5. The play that I did look at in that game was the under. I think I have a heavy lean on the under. I just didn't play it. It was just a little short of our margins. But I like that pick. I think they'll win this game.
Perfect. Yeah. So, Bernsey, what's your play?
Yeah, so I actually have a play starting at about 1:07 p.m., about 20 minutes from now. I'm going with the under 5.5 in the first 5 innings for Blue Jays versus Mariners. We've got Ryu versus Kikuchi on the mound today. Both teams have been pretty good lately. The Mariners have been absolutely slugging the ball. Very surprising record. They're above 500. I honestly didn't expect it. One of the lower averages in the league. I know they have a bad rep just because they've allowed 2 no-hitters this season. But when you've got 2 aces of their caliber on the mound, I'm going to be taking the under 5.5. Kikuchi's just statistically been one of the better pitchers in the MLB the last month or two. I saw it on Twitter by Goofy Betts. Goofy Betts has also been riding Kikuchi pretty hard the last month or two. And I think Ryu's going to be able to get through those first 5 without giving up a run or two.
I actually have a lean on the full game under. Almost was a play for me. Didn't like the line movement towards the end. It jumped up from 9.5 to 10.
Yeah, it actually
Didn't
just
like
went
that.
down a little bit again. At least the odds still at 10, but it went from
From
minus
105
one.
-1 to
Yep.
10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
jumped back down a little bit.
yeah, I just didn't like that it jumped up from 9.5 to 10. Or also would have been a play, but because it jumped up, I'm just leaning it now. But yeah, no, I really do like the whole, and that's why I think the first 5. I think it's a great play because the full game total obviously also depends on the bullpen, and I think in your situation you really only have to worry about the aces, and I think that's just um, it's a significantly better play. I think it's the right look.
Yeah, I just can't trust the bullpens. I know Toronto, especially last year, had a shutdown bullpen, but this year in the park they're playing in, they're just letting up a little too much.
Right.
Yeah, I actually think Toronto's stats are heavily inflated from when they were playing in Florida. So I like betting their unders both on totals and team totals. As of recent, because now that they moved to Buffalo, the ball carries a little bit less than it was in Florida.
Yep.
And it's a little bit more profitable. However, I don't like taking the under in this spot. I think the Mariners are too hot. I don't think Kikuchi is very good because he's prone to the long ball. I rode the Mariners last night plus 225. They were one of my two plays that were over plus 200. I also had the Orioles. I liked that play last night, but tonight I just think the under is a little too stressful for me.
That's fair.
I get that.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go on with my second play. Diamondbacks money line. I'm taking a dog. I hardly ever take dogs. If you've kept up with me, but this is just a situation that I really do like for the Diamondbacks. I think they're being underpriced here significantly. To a degree, I can even see them being probably a favorite. I know it's the Giants, but the Diamondbacks are in this situation, playing at home. They're getting to get off the road, which they have a horrible road record. But most of their wins are coming from home. I think this is a situation in which they could potentially just try to come back at home and try to kind of get their groove back, at least to a degree. Obviously, it is the Diamondbacks. You don't expect much out of them. But at +1, I find it at +1.
38 is what I have right now.
138?
I have 138 right now is the money line.
Okay.
At least that's what I'm looking at across the board. And there's a couple of 140s there, a couple of 142s.
That's what threw me off because I'm seeing everywhere from 125 to 140. 125 not as profitable, obviously, but if it's like 135 or more, then I would take a look at it because that's just implying that they're only going to win about, I believe the number is 40% of the time. And I disagree with that. I think they have the chance to be. I mean, it just sort of depends and comes back to their abilities and really how much they want to just be at home and be able to win at home. But I mean, if they really do want to win at home, I think they're more of a 50% team against this Giants team. So I do think the value is there.
Yeah, I like this play a lot. This was actually the top play on my board. It just barely missed the cut by about 0.2%. But I'm going to read you the numbers really quickly because I like this play a lot. So the implied line, as you mentioned, is a 46.51%.
Okay.
With the money line as it is. Right now, the money line's actually, opened at +115. It's moved a little bit the other way, which is great. Love that. I project at 49.1% chance to win. So I'm missing it by about 0.9% as far as chance to win. Right. But I love that value. That 4% edge is going to make you a lot of money in the long term. So stick with it.
Right. Brent, do you have anything about that play?
No, I like it. I think Cueto's going to give up a few runs. I'm personally playing the over for only a unit tonight. It's at over 9 -104 currently. Merrill Kelly's obviously been a lot better over the past month, but the Giants have been versing some. They've been cold the last couple nights, but I think it's just because they've been against shutdown pitching in the A's and the Dodgers. So I think they're going to come back, get a few runs tonight.
Hopefully that's the case. What's your second play?
Yeah, so my second play is the Astros and Indians under 8.5. I believe it is around -105 currently. Wind in Cleveland is actually blowing 13 miles an hour inland or infield for the game later tonight. Luckily, rain is not in the forecast for the first time in a couple days there. It's been absolutely net brutal across the Midwest and Northeast. So reason I'm on this, obviously the 13 miles an hour wind, I've been heavily playing against wind when it's blowing inland, especially with the the unders. Cleveland's pitcher, sorry if I don't pronounce this right, J.C. Mejia, I believe. Mejia. Been pretty solid this year. Had a terrible outing a week ago against Pittsburgh. Doesn't scare me too bad. He came right back a few days ago and threw a pretty good game against Minnesota. Both bullpens are around average in the league. I have no issues with trusting them, and I think the game ends up with around anywhere between 5, 6, 7-ish runs. So that's why I feel safe with the 8.5, especially with those odds.
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous betting on the wind in Cleveland. That changes like minute to minute. But I don't have anything on that game at all. So I probably will be riding with you on that game.
Yeah. I know another thing I've been factoring a lot more this year is park factor. I definitely would. Honestly, if like the wind wasn't blowing like that and these pitchers weren't up, like if the statistics were just a little bit worse for tonight's game, I probably wouldn't be playing it. Based off Baseball Savant's model, they're about 11th in park factor at the moment. Do you guys actually, now I'm wondering, do you guys include park factor in any of your plays?
Not directly, not necessarily, not directly. At the end of the day, I think the park does affect it, but I think lines are already adjusting for park factors.
For sure.
If you see Colorado, for example, they adjust.
Oh yeah.
What I do is I usually use statistics that are independent. So FIP is a big one that I use, fielding independent pitching, XOBP, things like that, which should take away a lot of the ballpark factor, if not all of it, most of it. And then as far as ballpark factor goes, I think, like Azim said, Vegas adjusts for it. So if you know that they're adjusting for it, you just play your system to be all set. Exactly.
A few years ago is when like the ballpark trend came out, like everybody started using it. Maybe in the moment, maybe for the short time, or at least it took over like a wildfire. And I think at that point, maybe there might have been an edge, but I think at this point, Vegas has started to adjust for it.
Definitely not a huge factor. But I always like taking into account just a little bit. Sorry about talking over. We're going back and forth right there.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I always like hearing that type of stuff with you guys, especially just because we all look at numbers. We all look at a bunch of data points, but you guys are definitely a lot more percentage by percentage than I am.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know.
Always like hearing the feedback.
But yeah. No, like Source said, like if you can just like take out the ball, like if you're using data or stats that, allow you to take out any external factors, whether it's in the MLB or whether it's in basketball, whatever the case may be, I think it's a much better, you're really just sort of looking at the game or the teams in a vacuum environment. And I think that's going to be best for you to be able to see which way the game would be headed. And then
so Azim,
ballpark factors after that. But
Azim, I want to do one quick thing for everyone listening, just because I don't have any plays. I'm going to give out the teams that I think people should avoid betting on at all costs here today based on my numbers. Okay. One, I wouldn't bet on Seattle money line. There's no value there. In fact, mine negative 6% value as far as my data is concerned. Don't bet on the Red Sox, minus 7% value as the line stands right now at minus 225. I know that game starts in about 15 minutes. Maybe look for a live line, but as the line stands now, that's negative value. The other ones that are negative value, Milwaukee money line. If it gets any higher than 260, don't bet it. It opened at 275. I don't think it'll get back up there, but if it does, don't bet it. The Padres has negative implied value. Even though everyone loves to bet the Padres, I actually think the other side of that and the Reds might become profitable just because of that situation. Right now, that's minus 115 for the Reds and minus 105 for the Padres. If you can get the Padres at plus odds, I don't hate it. I don't like it. And then the last game, I would definitely stay off the Giants. Even if you're not betting, Arizona with Azim, I would stay off the Giants at all costs. That's a minus 9% implied value based on the money lines.
Go back to the Brewers. What was your
if the money line gets any higher than minus 265.
Okay. Because I'm going to be taking it, unfortunately.
What are you
I'm
taking?
very
What's
disappointed.
what's
I'm
the
taking
money
the
line
money
as you have
line
now?
and the minus 1.5.
The money
Well,
line that I
will.
see in front of me right now is minus 240. At that money line, I see really good value.
Right.
If it gets any higher than 260, I don't like it. And if it gets higher than 275, it goes the other way. And then I like the Pirates
Okay.
in that situation.
Yeah, I'll probably play it as soon as possible because I also don't see it coming past down. Like I have a
I
threshold for it, and so I don't see it crossing that line the other way. And so, I might as well just play it ASAP.
Yeah, I would lock
I
it in
get the
now.
most value.
It opened at 270, and it's down to about 240 in most places. I see 235 consensus odds at a couple of places.
Right.
I like it there. I just don't like it at 260 or above.
Yeah. All right. Just to recap, my two plays are Brewers minus 1.5 and the Diamondbacks money line. Bernsey, what were your two plays?
The Blue Jays versus Mariners under 5.5 first five, and Indians versus Astros under 8.5.
Hey, wait, you said Indians Astros under 8.5?
Yep.
All right.
Nothing official from me. Like I said, I like Arizona as my top non-official play.
I'm glad I'm on them.
I'm glad you are too, because I thought you were
Yeah.
going to be on the Giants.
Well, yeah, I hardly ever take dogs.
I know.
I like my favorites. I can't help it. Thanks for watching in, guys. For everybody who did, and again, we appreciate your love and support, and we hopefully can help you profit today. Yesterday, again, we went 3-3, and today we're trying to do better than that. So let's see what we're able to do with these 4 plays. Once again, thank you for watching, and good luck.
Peace.